Hey everyone, you know that feeling, right? That nagging says that you're just doing your job, clocking in, following the rules, maybe even feeling a bit like a replaceable part in a huge machine. Well, if that resonates with you, then you have to hear about this incredible book I just dove into. Linchpin, Are You Indispensable? By Seth Godin. This isn't just a book, it's a personal manifesto, a wake-up call that truly shifts how you think about your work and honestly, your life. Seth Godin, who you might know from his other bestsellers like Tribes or Purple Cow, doesn't pull any punches here. He argues that the world we grew up with, the one that promised us stability if we just fit in, followed instructions, and exchanged a day's work for a day's pay, that whole system, it's broken, it's falling apart at the seams, and honestly, a lot of us are feeling the pain because the old ways just don't work anymore. So what happened? For centuries, society embraced this take care of you bargain. Factories, whether they made widgets or insurance policies, needed workers who would pay attention in school, follow instructions, and show up on time. In return, we were promised good pay, health insurance, and job security. It was the American dream, and for a long time, it worked. But here's the kicker: in the face of competition and technology, that bargain has completely fallen apart. Job growth is flat, wages are in decline, and job security is just a fading memory for many. The obedient worker, Seth says, bought into a sucker's deal. Think about it. The book points out how Adam Smith, way back in The Wealth of Nations, described breaking down production into tiny tasks that low-paid people could do by following simple instructions. This created incredible efficiency, but it also created a demand for compliant, low-paid, replaceable cooks. Even white-collar jobs became factory work, planned, controlled, and measured for productivity, making them machine-proof until, of course, machines replaced them. The goal of organizations became to maximize their percentage of easily replaced laborers or pearl so they could pay less. It's why so many of us feel like Hector, the day laborer in Queens, standing on a corner, indistinguishable from the competition, just hoping to get picked for cheap physical labor. But here's the radical idea: Godin presents averages over. The world no longer fairly compensates people who are cogs in a giant machine. What the world wants and needs now are indispensable human beings. He calls these people linchpins. The linchpin is that essential element, the person who holds a part of the operation together. They're difficult to replace, risky to lose, and so valuable they might as well be replaceable. Organizations are built around them. So what makes someone a linchpin? It's not about being born with a magical talent. It's a choice, a path you train yourself for. Seth argues that linchpins are artists. Now, before you roll your eyes and say, "But I can't draw," Seth clarifies art isn't just a painting, it's anything that's creative, passionate, and personal, and that resonates with the viewer, not just the creator. An artist is someone who uses bravery, insight, creativity, and boldness to challenge the status quo, and they take it personally. Think of Tony Hsieh, the founder of Zappos, as an artist, or the architect who designs an iPhone. It's about intent and communication, not just the medium. This sounds great, right? But what stops us from becoming these artists, these indispensable linchpins? Well, Seth Godin has a name for it: the resistance. He describes it as your lizard brain. This is the ancient fearful part of your brain, the basal ganglia or amygdala that only cares about eating and being safe. It's the voice in your head that tells you you're not qualified, that your ideas are too crazy, that people will laugh at you. It pushes you to fit in, to procrastinate, to do busy work instead of real work. It wants you to stay hidden and unchanged because visibility is dangerous. It's why there's writer's block but not chemical engineering block. The resistance creates diseases, procrastination, and a lot of rationalization. So how do we fight this lizard brain? One of the most powerful concepts in the book is shipping. It means hitting the publish button, showing the presentation, answering the phone, selling the muffins. It's the collision between your work and the outside world. The discipline of shipping is essential because it forces you to overcome the resistance, desire for perfection, or endless tweaking. Seth himself says he's written a dozen books since 1999 because he ships. He doesn't get in the way of the muse. He fights the resistance. He strips away anything that looks productive but doesn't involve shipping, like endless meetings or memos. Another crucial weapon against the resistance, and a core part of being an artist, is emotional labor. This is the hard work of making art. Producing generosity and exposing creativity. It's what the flight attendants at JetBlue did when they chose to make the flight more fun, even when they weren't explicitly told to or paid extra for it. It's the more cowbell phenomenon. If you're going to play the cowbell, play the cowbell. The beauty of emotional labor is that when you do it, you benefit, not just the company or your boss. The act of giving a gift is itself a reward, and it makes your coworkers more open, your boss more flexible, and your customers more loyal. But wait, give things away for free? Isn't that just being naive in a capitalist world? This leads to one of the most powerful concepts, the culture of gifts. Seth argues that for the last 500 years our society has been about commerce, about a day's work for a day's pay. Everything has been a transaction. But the internet has changed things, lowering the marginal cost of generosity. When you give a gift without hoping for direct reciprocity, it transforms the relationship. It binds the recipient to the giver and both to the community, strengthening the tribe. It's a signal of surplus, showing the world you have plenty to share. Think about Keller Williams, the guitarist who performs with 8 guitars at once. His concert is a gift. The effort and genius he puts in can't be repaid by a ticket sale. His music is even free online. This generosity builds a tribe, and that tribe is eager to pay for the privilege of being in the room with him. It's ironic, but artists are indispensable linchpins precisely because they're generous. Organizations will always try to replace replaceable elements with cheaper substitutes. But generous artists aren't easily replaceable. As Seth puts it, old-school business people argue for copyright and patent protection and say, "I can't tell you my idea because I'm afraid you will steal it." Old-school thinking is that you get paid first. You sign a contract, you protect and defend and profit. They say, "Pay me." Artists say, "Here." So, if there's no map, how do we even start? This is another core truth: there is no map. Leaders and artists force their own paths, they don't follow pre-paved routes. It requires discernment, or prana as a Buddhist might call it, the ability to see things as they truly are, without bias or attachment to a desired outcome. It's easy to get angry at a broken microphone or a canceled flight, but a linchpin deals with it because they understand that getting upset won't change the unchangeable. They choose to see the situation for what it is and focus on what can be changed. Richard Branson, for example, when his flight was cancelled in the Caribbean, didn't freak out. He chartered a plane, sold seats to other passengers, and planted the seats for Virgin Air. That's map-making in action. The biggest shift the new economy brings is self-determination. Becoming a linchpin isn't about being born with gifts, it's an internal choice. You can't fit in and stand out. You're either defending the status quo or challenging it. You're either a dream come true, an agent of change, or someone who simply fits the description and doesn't ruffle feathers. The book urges us, if your job doesn't match your passion, transfer your passion to your job. It's far easier to find a way to love what you do and commit to it than to find the mythical perfect job that aligns with your passions. Ultimately, the book says, we're all geniuses. We've all waited, invented, and created our way out of a jam at least once. If you can do it once, you can do it again. The real work is about making a difference, challenging the status quo, and changing people. It's about bringing your human self to work, not being a machine. So my advice, directly from the pages of this insightful book: don't let the lizard brain win. Don't let the fear of being laughed at or the need for a map stop you. Instead, sprint into the discomfort. Offer genuine gifts and ship your art into the world. It won't always be easy and you will fail, but trying and failing is better than merely failing, because trying makes you an artist and gives you the right to try again. The most stressful part, Seth says, is the hoping for a predefined future. Instead, choose to invent your own future and embrace the freedom that comes with it. This book completely transformed how I see work. It's a powerful call to action, reminding us that our unique contribution is valuable and that the art we create is precious. It challenges you to rethink how you do your job, to stop complying with the system, and to draw your own map. Because as Seth Godin concludes, you're a genius and we need your contribution. Do the work, please. It's a choice, and it's up to you.